All right, welcome back to another episode of the Fan Connection podcast. Today is a different version of your typical Fan Connection. Today, we're going to be talking about our one of our favorite TV shows. Right now available on Amazon Prime is The Boys. The newest episode just came out recently. So I actually just watched it today. Literally just watched it today. Berta, you watched it, I imagine, when it came out.
Yeah. I watched
um,
it like immediately.
yeah, I wish I
Just
had,
quick,
but I couldn't
yeah,
do that to
yeah.
myself yet.
Quick side note, I was gonna watch it with like a group who was gonna hop on, and we talked about it. We were chatting about it. We're like, oh, watch party. We set it for like 2 days, and then
Yeah.
we both said yeah. And then it got to the point where it was like we're like, okay, we said midnight on Thursday when it releases, but it released early, and then everyone said, oh, it released early and stuff, and then I was like, I'm still down to watch it at midnight. It came closer to midnight, and my brother wanted to watch it too, so I'm like, hey, I might just watch it with my brother. You can watch the finale next week, right? And then a group's like, I predicted you would do this, so
I
I
already
watched
watched
it
it.
already. Yeah, I was like, well, like,
Hey, it's a
okay,
good friend,
then.
man. He knows you. He knows you too
Yeah,
well.
I guess, but like that. No, man, I don't want that. Like, if he really wanted to watch with me, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I'll watch my brother next week. But no, he just went ahead. He just assumed I'd be the bad person. Now he didn't even give me a chance to redeem myself, and
Oh
now,
well.
yeah, he just watched without me. So
Oh
yeah,
well. You know what?
whatever. Yeah,
You know what? Everything happens for a reason, right? So you'll
I
be.
guess you're right.
You
I
guys
guess
will
you're
be
right.
fine. I'm not too worried. So yeah, let's get into the episode. It was just over an hour long, I think. Right? It was just over an hour.
Yeah,
Some. Do you want to talk about the big twist right away at the end, or do you want to wait for that?
we'll talk about it at the end. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. What'd
just
you?
going through the episode though,
Yeah.
the episode as a whole, honestly, I loved it. It was great. I think episode 6 will be my favorite out of the whole season. But this one dealt with like so many emotional things. I wasn't expecting the whole like Butcher side story or like backstory,
I loved
whatever.
his backstory. I love that we got
Yeah,
that because it makes you actually like the character a bit more.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I didn't expect that, but like watching the whole thing was just great. And it's just showing like the parallels of like what was his brother's name?
Oh
Billy?
fudge. No, yeah, no, he's Billy. He's Billy
No.
Butcher.
Oh, he is Billy. Yeah, what am I
Yeah,
saying?
because okay,
Uh,
Huey
no, he's
is
William Butcher, isn't he?
yeah, but they call him Billy.
Okay, well, I don't know whatever. His brother, right?
I'm
It's like
looking it
it's
up right
just
now.
showing.
How do we not
Yeah,
know this?
I don't know. We just said it's one of our favorite shows, and we don't know this. But anyway, it was cool. It was just showing the parallels to how he was with his younger brother and why he is the way he is now. But he's also now doing this to Huey as well, right? Like just in a little bit of it, like
Lenny.
he became his dad, right? Yeah, Lenny. Yeah, he's basically he didn't want to be his dad and all that. And we heard it throughout the show, throughout the other seasons and stuff, where it's like I think her name is Mallory. She was saying, "Oh, you're not your dad, or whatever. You're better than your dad." But
Yeah,
like we never saw this, and like watching this, you really actually see like he does in a way become his dad a little bit,
not a little bit.
and
He literally becomes his dad in many
yeah, I guess he
ways.
really becomes his, yeah, I guess
Yeah,
you're right, and yeah, it was just cool to see the parallels and just showing why he is the way he is now, and then just quickly skipping to the end of the episode here, like I just knew that he wouldn't have. I wanted to have that redemption arc really like so badly, and for him just to tell Huey what Starlight said to him,
there's no
but
shot.
I was like, no, it's not gonna happen. So
They can't give that to us because then there's not really much of a show left if they give it that
yeah,
if they give us that
yeah,
because he has to be Billy Butcher or else no one's gonna take down the superhero villains, right? The
hmm.
soups. So no, I loved his backstory. Honestly, it made me like the character a little bit more, or not necessarily like him a bit more, just understand him a bit more, and understand why he is the way he is. Right? Like he's not the greatest guy ever. He's fighting for good in ways, but he's like Batman if Batman decided to kill people gruesomely.
Yeah,
So
I guess you're right. It's like do things at all costs, whatever it takes,
yes,
basically,
we're
right?
basically getting Batman versus Superman, but with an Australian dude and a Nazi,
Yeah,
essentially. So
yeah.
it's a good show. I like the parallels there. I also like the parallels from for Captain America to Soldier Boy.
Oh
And
yeah,
you know they're definitely ripping off Captain America for sure, even with the name Soldier Boy, his shield, his haircut, his beard. It's all the same as Captain America when he was edgy, right at the end.
hmm,
Remember him from Infinity War is the edgy
yeah,
Captain America, right? The cool Cap. Like
yeah.
this is what I feel Soldier Boy is, just with a lot more emotional damage
Oh yeah.
slash drug addiction slash doesn't cope well with anything slash lack of character. So
Well,
uh, pretty
yeah, you
good.
got. Well, I was gonna say you got Captain America's like the PG, and then like Soldier Boy's the rated R, right? Like
Yes.
that's basically what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And then so that was pretty cool. I like so I like that. Obviously, I know we introduced Soldier Boy a lot earlier in the show, but or at least a lot earlier in the season. But you know, we haven't. This is our first episode, so I wanted to bring that up too. But no, very good show so far. Haven't complained. Very entertaining. A lot of emotions that episode. Not gonna lie, it was a little hard for me to watch the love scene between Frenchie and Kimiko, with everything
Yeah.
going on in my personal life. But um, it was still nice to see. I love them as a couple, so
Hmm.
it was nice to see that kind of emotional growth. And you know, it's you kind of see like the woman's choice again, where it's like, which is a really nice touch too. It's like it's her choice to have the powers now, so she
Hmm.
doesn't see them in a negative way. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
her choice, it's her power. I like that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I did, and honestly, like this show for me just keeps getting better and better to the point where I'm forgetting some of the side plots because everything is just so good. Like whether it's the side plots or the characters, I really like every single one of them. Like usually in TV shows and movies, I'm not gonna lie, for me, I'm gonna sound like a cynical person, but whenever there's like the side little love plot or love scenes or
No one
whatever
really
that's going
cares.
on, I don't care, man. I really don't. But with like Frenchie and Kamiko, I actually really am invested in it. I'm like
I
so happy when they're
yeah.
together and stuff. And that little dancing scene was done so well, where she's like, "Oh, like your arms used to feel like straws," or I think she said, or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like
sticks.
flimsy straws or something. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, like this is like the last time she's gonna feel like this, like how it actually is," before she took like the compound V again. And yeah, so that's been amazing. And then one little side plot that's been completely, I don't know, I just forgot about it completely. But the whole A Train thing, I'm actually really liking it this
yeah.
season.
Hmm.
I think it's a lot. It's he's been done a lot better. He's still kind of an idiot, but like
He's starting to
I do
learn
like.
though.
Yeah, he's starting to learn a little bit,
Yeah.
and I do like that. I don't know if you want to talk about the deep at all, but the deep, I
Let's
just
let's finish with A Train, then we'll hop in with the deep.
yeah. What do you think about A Train this season?
I've liked his character growth in many ways, in the sense that he's becoming much more aware of not only the power he has, right?
Mhm.
Like he's becoming much more aware of the influence he has on his community and how little liked he is by his own community, right?
Mhm.
You know, he's been represented by this terrible company that's high key racist, let's be honest.
Mhm.
And he's being represented as this typical black kid. They're trying to get Tom Hanks to play his coach, because you know it's my brother who coached me. Like, they're trying to change his
Yeah.
whole backstory.
Yeah.
And you know, you see early in the season he wants to like wear the African colors, he said, and all that stuff. Like that was obviously like I knew where he was coming from, but it's like, dude, you're so dumb. But
Yeah.
you know, I understood where he was coming from, right? We understood what he meant, what he was trying to do with that. He just did it wrong. But now this time you're seeing for real, he's actually starting to learn. You see him in the hospital. Spoiler, obviously, but you see him in the hospital bed after getting the heart from the man he just murdered, uh, which is
That
kind
is
of crazy.
crazy. Yeah, I
But
did
you,
not expect that.
yeah, but you can see him realizing, okay, there's certain things in my life I got to work on, and it's nice to see that he's gonna have some character growth, because I think he could be a great character, and I do have some predictions for the final episode that I think are gonna be kind of cool, but we'll
Yeah.
get into that a bit later.
Well, yeah. Real quick though, I was just gonna say, like, I think his character, what he's going through right now, is like a perfect kind of Well, if you look at Starlight, her main thing is when she was brought up to be a superhero,
Pageant,
right? What's that?
the pageant stuff, right? That's her
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Well, like I was gonna say, like her main goal was to actually like help and save people. I say save people, right? And that was like her. That was her main thing, and that's why she did what she did in the previous episode. She stepped away. She's like, "Oh, screw Vought, whatever. I'm just gonna go help people." These guys like A Train and the Deep and everybody else, they
Homelander.
got so caught up in their own image, right? Where they just completely lost sight of the actual goal. And so I feel like in this season, A Train's really realizing that, where he's just like even if the other guy was Blue Hawk or something like that, I don't know what his name was, but
It was Blue
he
Hawk, yeah.
yeah, he just realized he's like the image thing doesn't even like matter as much. Like when what's her name, Amy or the girl who runs Vought now or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
does
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so she was just in the
Ashley.
hospital. Yeah, Ashley, sorry. Yeah, she was talking about, oh, now you get your own movie and stuff. And yeah, like you said, the Tom Hanks thing. And how funny would it be if Tom Hanks was a cameo? But anyway,
Yeah,
you could just
I
see,
could see it. I could see them
yeah,
getting them. They have a lot of
but you
money.
can just see like A Train. He's like, ah, whatever. Like he's like, yeah, sure. Like he doesn't really care. You can tell he doesn't care about that so much anymore, which is good because that's just showing the growth and it shows like what Starlight's really standing for, right? And I want to see that. I want to see like I have predictions as well where it's gonna go, and I want to see him have a redemption arc because I feel like it is there.
Hmm.
And if anything, he's really learning throughout this whole season. Like he really hit rock bottom, like literally, when he almost died in that last episode. So hopefully now he has more perspective and all that, and we see a little bit more growth. But yeah, his story I've really enjoyed so far. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. We'll see. We'll see where it takes him. I mean, I'm looking forward to A Train's ending. I mean, as a prediction, or I predict that he's gonna have an impact at the end. I think.
yeah, I think so too.
Like I could see Soldier. Anyway, we'll get into the Soldier Boy and Homelander thing afterwards. But I could see a
Mm-hmm.
little team up happening between those two, which is scary.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see A Train, um, Starlight, Huey, uh,
Butcher,
Billy, and
yeah,
Kimiko, and what's her name, Maze.
Maeve, yeah,
All of
yeah.
them teaming up to take down those two. I could see
I think
that,
that's
and
what they're
Black Noir as well.
Black Noir. I think
Yeah,
they're definitely leading towards that a little bit because yeah, they're just showing like the all of everybody's just kind of against well no, Black Noir obviously. He showed his whole thing, which I thought was insane. Like how imagine like this is how good the show is. Imagine a show where the character that you're watching, he doesn't say a single word in the entire show, but we care so much about him. Right? And
yeah.
he just
I
like
love Black Noir,
yeah,
dude. I
yeah.
honestly, ever since they gave us that flashback of him in the war, where he doesn't
Mhm,
want to wear his helmet and stuff, and he wants to be seen.
mhm,
Honestly, that's the moment where I was like, I like this character. Why were we told to hate this guy earlier? You know what I mean?
mhm,
We're not really told
mhm.
to hate him. He was just always kind of mysterious. No one really knew what he was doing. He was
Yeah.
kind of like the Batman, but he just didn't talk. So I know I compared Billy Butcher to Batman, but like he's also kind of
Yeah.
like Batman in a way. Um, so it'd be kind of cool to see. It'd be kind of cool to see where Black Noir goes. I think, like I said, I think there could be a big team up here. I think he's gonna help take down Soldier Boy. And I guess let's get into the twist, right? We're already talking
Yeah.
about the team up. So Soldier Boy, as we learn, is actually Homelander's father, which I mean, it makes sense. They're both the main jock
Yeah.
guy. You know, it makes sense. I wouldn't put it past Vought to have done that. And I mean, it could be a lie. I mean, he could be lying. You never know. But I could definitely see a team up now where it's like, okay, Soldier Boy and Homelander, they're going to team up and try to kill all the other soups and be the two main guys and rule. I think that's going to be their goal. And I think at the end though, my prediction is going to be Soldier Boy does his weird explosion thing, and the only person affected is going to be Huey and Homelander for some reason. That's my prediction.
Mm.
And maybe
Interesting.
Billy Butcher jumps in to save Huey and dies instead. But I think Homelander gets his powers gone, taken away from his own dad accidentally. That's my prediction.
So what I think is gonna happen, I don't even know if this is gonna be the season finale or just the show finale in general, whenever that's going to be. I think the one that takes down Homelander is gonna be Huey. And the reason why is because they've already shown him stand up to Homelander twice now without powers, right? Or just standing up against him. And now that he has his power, oh, that's another thing we can talk about. We'll touch on later, but uh he's like if you take it 5 doses or whatever, 3 to 5 doses, your
You
brain
die.
turns into Swiss cheese, basically is what Starlight said, right? But yeah, like I think the least expected person to take out Homelander is gonna be Huey, but that's why I think it's gonna happen because I mean from the start of the show, like to where he is now, his character's progressed so much, and his whole thing was like he doesn't want Starlight to save him,
He
right?
wants to save
And
Starlight.
yeah, he wants to save Starlight, and
Yeah.
how yeah, it might be just a thing where he actually ends up saving Starlight, which I think is kind of I don't agree with Huey to be honest, but like if that's what happens at the end of it, and that's how he maybe he goes out like that. Honestly, maybe he kills Homelander or stops him, but he also dies himself. I that's something I could see happening, but yeah, another theory I did see was Butcher or Maeve actually has Butcher's kid. I think that people are saying that Maeve might be pregnant, and it might be Butcher's kid because they're talking about how Homelander and her, like, they had a kid,
It'd be
they'd be like the
perfect.
perfect, yeah, and all that, and they kind of touched on that a little bit, but obviously Maeve and Butcher did hook up
And he
earlier in the
was,
season.
and he had powers at the time.
Yeah, and I feel like that could have been a useless scene, like, just randomly just thrown in, but also it could mean something. I don't, because it came, because right now, like, that happened, and then nothing was talked about it after. You never saw the two of them ever again
Well, yeah,
anywhere.
because she got kidnapped.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like, but he hasn't even mentioned her or anything like that either, right? So I feel like it's something that's going to be looked back on, and
Yeah.
it might be a little twist thing we see later on. I mean, that'd be pretty cool to see where that
She
goes.
could be his next. What was her? Becca.
Becca, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh shit! I'm getting a phone call. 1 second.
yeah,
If you want to keep going though, I'll just
yeah.
put
I'll
my mic.
just continue on. No, yeah, it's I don't know. The whole episode was really good. It was a really emotional episode, I think, and I just like every single character where it's taking every single character. Even MM's story of him talking to his wife's new husband, which is obviously so difficult to do, but him trying to keep his cool as much as he can. He tried the entire season, but then now that guy was just saying like, oh, Todd, he's talking about how Homelander just saves people. He's the only one who does this. The media's trying to brainwash you and all that. Um, yeah, that was it was funny to see, but like you can see, like I enjoy his story too. Is what I'm trying to say. It's like he's trying to be as cool as he can, but and try to be like a nice guy for his daughter to see. But there's only so far you can go until you snap after, especially seeing after all he's seen and all Homelander's done, right, and how he's
Oh, you're talking
affected
about MM?
himself. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just saying, like he's obviously reached his point. Like I still enjoy his story as well. Like he tried to be a cool and chill dad as much as he can. Like at the beginning of the
Yeah.
season, you saw like the girl, his daughter's birthday party had it was all superhero themed because that Todd guy really liked superheroes and all that, and he was dressed as Homelander.
Bro,
He tried to
Todd's
keep as cool as much as he
fucking
can,
weird.
but yeah, that storyline is cool and interesting as well. Because what can he even do in his point of view? Like you can't tell Todd all the stuff that he knows. All he can really say is and warn him is warn him as much as he can, right? And say like, oh, he's actually not this cool of a guy. He's actually a fucking psychopath, basically. But
Bro, okay, but like Todd's like, oh, check out all the
yeah,
non-made media. Like, dude, shut the fuck up, bro. You're
I
probably
know,
looking at
yeah,
like he's like wiki how or something like the fake knockoff of Wikipedia.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, buddy, like I know he's supposed to represent all the conspiracy theorists and stuff, and
Hmm.
I get what they're going for with it, but I'm like, bro, this guy's so fucking weird.
I know he's so
I hate
stupid.
Todd, man. I don't like Todd at
Such an
all. I
idiot.
literally when Homelander was talking about how like, oh, don't let them take your power, and you see him do his little nod of approval, like that weird little shimmy he did. Bro,
Yeah.
do you remember what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
I
Yeah.
was like, get this guy out of here. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. And so
Yeah.
that was definitely interesting, to say the least. I mean, Todd is a bit of a weird duck, oddball.
Why is she even with him? Like,
Bro,
I'm all like, why?
Take
Like,
MM back. What are you doing,
I
lady? I
know.
think I another prediction. I think she takes MM back. I I,
Maybe.
I think she takes him
Yeah.
back.
Maybe the
They
actually I
call.
don't even know anymore. After what he like punched Todd
I don't
and
give a
like he looks like a
fuck.
monster.
Todd,
So
Todd said she needs a father. Nah. He deserved to get
yeah, he deserved
smacked.
to get kicked,
He
like
deserved to get
hit in the
smacked in
face.
the face. I think if
Yeah.
MM didn't hit him and said, I think if MM did not hit him, I think his ex-wife would have told Todd to leave. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like
think
if he
so.
took the high ground, I think his ex-wife would have been like, "Wow, he's really changed," and would have told Todd to get the fuck out of there. Because,
Yeah.
bro, even she knows Homelander's fucked up. Like even she knew, and she's not. She doesn't know what
Yeah, she
MM's doing. She
Mhm.
doesn't know all the stuff MM knows. Like yes, she knows he doesn't like him. He doesn't like Homelander, but like she doesn't know everything Homelander's done. She sees the same shit Todd sees, but Todd is just ignorant to everything. Like bro, like they literally caught him on like so Starlight's really smart. She literally caught him with her phone because she would have died if she didn't do this. She caught him live with her followers, live on Insta or whatever she was on.
Mhm.
All her followers saw what he said, and now all the
Mhm.
media is gonna report it. You're screwed. Like in real life, he'd be screwed, right?
Yeah. I wonder what's gonna happen with that now because I thought he was already like too far gone after what Starlight said in the episode 6 at the end of it. But then he was still in Vaughn. He was in these little rallies, or like he showed in episode 7. He was doing this little
It's all conspiracy theorists. They all
yeah,
hate
yeah,
Starlight.
right. They're all yeah. So I mean, I wonder what's gonna happen now because now it's so far gone to the point where I really hope they don't just kind of brush over it because that's a huge thing. Because like you said, in real life, if that happened, you're done, right? That's it. So
I think they
I'm
will
really
talk
curious to
about
see what
it.
they're gonna do. Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do.
He gave her the death stare too. Like he gave her
Yeah.
the classic Homelander death stare. Like
Oh yeah.
she's gotta look out, man, because she's stirred up the pot a lot and she's been doing a
Mhm.
lot of the work. Honestly, she's really
Mhm.
kind of carried the team this season, which is
Yeah.
something I didn't expect because I didn't really like. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't like Starlight for a while. But honestly, she's really grown on me this past season. Like season 3 Starlight is a winner. Season
Mhm.
2 and below is like, yeah, she's there. To me, season 3 Starlight is absolutely killing it, making
Yeah.
all the right moves, all the right choices. Meanwhile, Huey's a druggie. Like it's
Yeah.
it's flipped. Their relationship is completely flipped. Before it was Huey's the one being put together. You know, I didn't like the way she was interacting with Supersonic. I thought that was kind of fucking weird. I was like, yo, like you're making Huey jealous low key on purpose. Like, I'm sorry. The way she was handling out like Alex Supersonic, I was like,
Mhm.
that's a little weird. Like, anyway, like, I thought that was a little bizarre. Like she was so quick to be like, "Oh my god, Alex," you know what I mean? As soon as she saw him again, you know what I mean, though, right? Like she was
Yeah,
so chummy with him right away.
I mean, like, I think like that's what the at least the writers are trying to make it look like, just to kind of show conflict in Huey, because that's more of a. I think that's also part of the reason why Huey, uh, became what he became now, right? And like he took the temp V and all that stuff, and because he just kind of saw Supersonic, right? Maybe in his perspective, you can see like, oh, like,
Yeah,
yeah, like Starlight's really hitting it off with this guy, right? Like it's someone from his past or her past, and he's a soup and all that, and he doesn't need saving or anything like that. I think it added to Huey's character, and I think that's the way it was written, the way it was.
yeah,
So I think that's the way they went with that. But do you want to talk about Soldier Boy though? Because
yeah.
I know we're supposed to not like this guy, but like, dude, he's such a likable guy. Like when he punched
Uh,
Huey in the
what,
like in
what
the forest, I
one
was
thing
like
though, one thing
dying
I
at
will
that.
say is before we move on from Huey,
Yeah.
even his superpower is low key running away.
What's that?
Even his superpower, when he has
Mhm.
superpowers, it's to
Yeah.
help him run away.
I guess yeah. It's kind of a parallel to A Train actually, because
Yeah.
it's like yeah, it's just funny. Like that's how this whole thing started with A Train. And he's super fast. I know teleportation is a little bit different, but it's getting from point A to point B the fastest way you can, and it's the same thing Huey's doing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so it's one of those things. It's and like his is really good for running away. So I just thought it was kind of
Mhm.
interesting, and he uses it to always run away. He's always using
Yeah.
it to run away. He doesn't want to fight. He uses it to run, which I thought was kind of on point on character. So I'm glad they gave him that power. Um, it's a little embarrassing though because he loses his clothes every freaking time. Like
That is so funny.
it's
It's so
like,
random, right? Like it's honestly
but
so
it makes
random.
sense. It's like why would your
It
clothes
does make
teleport with
sense.
you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, unless he just consciously teleports his clothes too, which I mean, theoretically, he should be able to do that. If he can teleport a whole person, just say with clothes, please, and it should work. But,
Nah, it's the boys. Okay, there's too much.
yeah,
That's not enough nudity if that
I just thought
happened.
it
You
was,
know?
I just think it's really
Yeah.
funny and so on point
Yeah.
for Huey too to have that. Like, even when he has powers, it's kind of embarrassingly funny. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, but let's move on to Soldier Boy. You say you like him. I like him as a character. I don't like
Yeah.
him. Is that fair? Like,
No,
I
I
like
don't
his character
understand.
because I find him entertaining.
Oh,
But I
okay, yeah.
don't like him. Like I don't connect with him. I just think he's cool
Oh
and
yeah. I don't think
entertaining.
anybody's gonna connect with him, but he's kind of
Yeah,
a psychopath as well. But like,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, he is a pretty. I enjoy him, man. He is a funny guy. Like, I remember Huey like stood up to him and he's like, "Oh, you didn't storm Normandy, whatever." And then he's like, "Fuck you," and he like punched him in the face,
yeah,
something like
and
that.
just shut him
It
up
was
right away.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, he's a funny guy, man. Yeah. They made him out to be like you see like Black Noir's perspective, and then you go back to Soldier Boy, and it's like he's pretty funny still.
he's a lot.
But
He's a lot different than Black Noir's memory shows. Cause like,
or any of them, like even the girl, like the one he killed with like the red costume, she's like, oh, we all hated you, like earlier in the season.
yeah,
Yeah, I
But
think
it's
it was episode
weird
5.
because like they all hated him, right? But at the same time, why is he going out of his way to kill them all?
Because
I know they betrayed him. They're the
they
ones
like
that sent
sent
him
him
to
to
Russia.
Russia to like and like trapped
Yeah,
him.
but like, why does this have to be the thing he has to do? Like, why not just like say you're alive and just take all the fame? Like, why does he have to kill them all?
I don't
Like,
know. I think it's just a revenge thing, to be honest. Like, because like
probably.
I think from like Black Noir's little flashback thing, the way I see it is Soldier Boy really just wanted to be like the guy, and nobody can be above him or anything like that. Which he will be anyway if he's back. But I think he just wanted revenge, to be honest. I think it's just a revenge thing.
Yeah,
Like
and
it's
it's
yeah.
funny because he even says at the end, like, if it was my own son, I'd be willing to let him take over. And it's
Mm,
true because his ego would want his son to be even greater because he'd want his son to carry on his legacy, right?
yeah.
So it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, you know what? That's the one thing by Vought where it seems they're really stupid. You know what I mean? Like, why would you
Mm,
not just let him raise his son? Maybe it'd be a great story. You'd have great publicity for it. You know? Maybe they didn't
yeah.
want him around to raise his son because they knew how fucking terrible he was. But how's it going, Lord? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Welcome to the channel. We're talking about The Boys right now. If you watched the newest episode, stay tuned. Let us hear your chats. We're happy to interact. It's an interactive
Lots of
podcast.
spoilers though, if you haven't seen
Lots
it.
of spoilers if you haven't seen it. So I
Yeah.
suggest you either mute us, you can hit the follow and come back later and watch it once you've watched the episode. But just warning you, a lot of spoilers. We've already talked a lot about it, but we shall give you a heads
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. I think the last character we haven't talked about is the Deep. And so I was
Yes,
having a
yes.
conversation with my friend about it, and get that I get that he's a comedic relief kind of guy in the show,
He's
and I like
embarrassing to me
it.
though. Yeah,
It is funny. You're right. It is embarrassing, but like he is funny. I laugh at his scenes, but I honestly I think he's gonna mean more to the story later on. So I think that like right now he's as like he's the embarrassing guy. He's like the
yeah.
joke of the soups and all that. But I feel like later on, whether it's a redemption arc, I don't even think he can be redeemed. I don't know what it is that could be done, but
I think I
I
know what they're gonna do though. I get what you're saying, and I'm perfect.
yeah.
Dakar says they're a, comic person, so a comic guy.
Oh,
So we're
that's sick.
chilling. We can't spoil anything.
Nice.
So don't spoil anything for us then. I don't know if the comics are ahead of the show, so
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
spoil anything for us.
yeah.
But anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like I think like just like A-Train, like A-Train's going through his phase right now where he's kind of learning what's actually important in life, right?
Yep.
And so I think they're really kind of shaping it up to be A-Train, probably Black Noir joins the boys too. Maeve is already on that side, and then you got Starlight, Huey, Butcher,
Kimiko.
French, Kimiko, and you have those 9 guys, and then if the Deep, I mean, the Deep is gonna have to. I don't know what he's gonna do in this story unless he's gonna be on that side, right? Like he's not gonna join Soldier Boy and Homelander. Homelander doesn't even care about him, right? So,
Yeah,
um,
it's one of those things. Like I think he's gonna. So remember, he and his wife or wife. I don't know what you want to put parentheses on that, but
yeah,
he and his wife, right? Like they kind of broke up in a way, or they're at
yeah,
least they're fighting. They're fighting. I wouldn't say they broke up because they're
yeah,
obviously probably still together, but um, they're in a fight right now, and I think he's gonna go on to that talk show because he's scheduled for a talk show, which is gonna happen next episode because it hasn't happened yet. I think he's
mm,
gonna go on that talk show and make a complete idiot of himself, and I think he's gonna realize, shit, I am not the person I thought I was. I know he should have already realized this a while ago, especially because, he went through that thing with the church and the this and
mm,
that, like all these things that's happened to him so far throughout the show, throughout the series. You'd think he would have grown already as a character, right?
yeah,
Especially after he saw the way they handled the Arrow guy. I don't remember what his name was, but Arrow, right? The way they
yeah,
handled
yeah.
that Green Arrow. No, I don't know what his name was, but
But yeah,
yeah, Green Arrow, right?
no, it wasn't. No, that's a DC character. But
Right.
no, I don't know who the guy is. But yeah,
But the way
I
they
know what you're talking
handled,
about.
like after he's like, oh yeah, he's my brother, he's my friend, and like, oh yeah, he's excommunicated. Oh yeah, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? Like the way he
Yeah,
handled that, I thought would be different. I thought he'd actually leave the church and side with the other guy. So I was kind of surprised by that. 'Cause they were leaning towards growing his character, and then it's like he took like 17,000 steps backwards this season. So
yeah,
I think, like I said, I think next episode we're gonna see him go on the talk show. I think it's gonna be like an hour and a half long episode. Um, so I think what's gonna happen is he's going to, oh come on, what was I gonna say? He's gonna go on the talk show, make a fool of himself, like I said. Realize he needs people. Realizes he needs his wife. Realizes he's not the person he thought he was, and maybe that would be the tipping point for when the fight breaks out. He might immediately think, "Oh, I should side with Homelander here," but I think he'll realize, "Nah, my heart's not in it," and he helps the other side. I think, and I think
Maybe, yeah.
honestly, his power low key would be really helpful. Like he basically owns the whole sea. Like
Yeah, he
if
should be
Homelander's
super
Zeus,
powerful.
if Homelander's Zeus, he'd be Poseidon, right? Like
Yeah.
he should be pretty powerful, but he's just a freaking idiot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's the problem.
Yeah. And
So
actually, while we were talking about this, there actually is one more character we didn't talk about, and it was Nadine. Is that her name?
uh yeah,
The
sure.
like the girl
Yeah.
that like the head popper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like where's her story in all this, right? Like she gave her kid Compound V, and so her kid's gonna be a soup.
Yep.
But what is she gonna do? Like I
She's
mean,
gonna
I
be on
know.
Homelander's side.
You think she'll be on Homelander's side? I don't
I
know.
find
I
it
really don't. I
weird
don't even know
because
what her motive is gonna be at like when this is all
shouldn't
said and done.
couldn't she theoretically just mind pop Homelander and just be done? Like I don't
I
understand.
mean, she could. Yeah, that's the one thing I was thinking about as well. Like, can she do it? But I think she does want to be at the top as well.
I
And
I think it's more she just can't. I think there's certain people she can and cannot kill. I think Homelander's too strong. She can't pop his brain.
maybe that could
And
be
same with
it.
Soldier Boy. I think they're too strong. She can't do it.
Yeah,
Or
if
it'd take a
anybody
lot of
knows,
effort and they'd kill her before she could.
yeah, no, if anybody knows the answer to that, like, let us know because
Yeah.
I was thinking about that as well. I'm sure there is a valid reason as to why this isn't done, besides like progressing the plot, right, or not ending the show. There's probably a better reason as to why, but I just can't think of what it is. Like, I don't know where her story's gonna go, but interested to see where it's gonna go, right? Because
Yeah.
yeah, like at some point, like she talked to Starlight as well earlier. She's like, "Oh, Huey knows I'm like the one who pops heads and stuff." Like I want to see where that story goes as well. But yeah, again, there's just so many storylines in the show and so many characters, and somehow they're managing to do all of them so well. Like there isn't a
Yeah.
time when I'm bored throughout
The
watching the
ability to
show.
juggle all these stories has been actually very phenomenal. And
Yeah.
I see Laura in chat saying GA or How to Kill Franchise book for dummies from CW. I'm not sure what that's a reference to be honest with you.
I think it's
But
just like he's just talking about how the CW shows are so bad. So
oh
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
which
that's
they are. I
this
don't
wait,
know
the
how.
CW shows?
Yeah, it's like the Flash and like
Oh yeah, they're
Arrow and
terrible.
like
They're
all the.
terrible.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't even know
DC man, I
how
don't know
they're
what they're
still
doing.
going. Like Flash is still going on somehow. I just saw it got renewed for like season 9, and I'm not gonna lie, I watched season 1 and 2 because back then, like when the Arrow first came out, I did like it. I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. They were season 1, season 2, and then they had Flash come in. I'm like, oh, it's connected. That's amazing, right? And that was fun to watch. But then it just slowly just digress,
Well,
not
you
digress.
either
What's the
do
word?
something with it or let it die, and they're
Yeah,
letting
yeah.
it die.
It's dying.
Or they're
Yeah,
not. No, sorry, they're not accepting that it's dead.
yeah.
I wonder will they get Guts to turn Butcher into his comic original? So I haven't read the comics. I honestly, I'm not a huge comic guy to be honest with you. I'm lazy. I'm lazy. I just like watching the shows. I like getting
Mhm.
spoon fed a little bit. You know, I like that. So about the shows, I like looking for Easter eggs within shows. I love that aspect of it. So I watch a lot of Screen Crush and stuff like that. But you'd have to kind of let us know what Butcher's comic original is. Did he have powers in the original comics? Does he get the real
So
Compound
I have
V?
a little.
What's that? What's
I
that
did
about?
hear something. You want to know what it is?
Sure.
Okay, so I did like the comics apparently were shit. Like it didn't go too far. But one thing that is in the comics is all of the boys actually do have powers. Like they all eventually get powers. Like MM
Oh.
and Frenchie as well. So I wonder if they're gonna do that. I don't think they're going to with the show because even in the comics, like Black Noir is Homelander's clone actually, and that's like a whole another side plot. But this is not happening in the show because he's obviously not white. So
Yeah, he's a
yeah,
black guy, so
yeah,
unless
yeah.
he's
So
alternated somehow.
I don't know, but yeah, but obviously they're going like away from the comics. Like they do take inspiration from it, but it's not direct kind of carbon copy of it, right?
Sure.
But yeah.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Thank you, Dakar, for the insight there. And he says that the comics are way more brutal and heavy, which yeah, it's usually how the comics go. They're usually a bit more gruesome than the TV shows, because the TV shows have to lighten it up a little bit, obviously, to have I guess to make it a bit easier to digest for the audience, right? But yeah, I think we pretty much touched on everything from episode 7. Yeah. I mean, we made our predictions for episode 8. I think we made quite a few. We're 35 minutes in, so this is a pretty good way to end the first ever episode of the Fan Connection podcast, talking about our favorite shows. This is episode 1. We don't really have a name for this yet. We're just kind of spitballing,
working title.
Yeah, it's a work in progress on the title. But Lord Dekar, feel free to drop a follow. We'll be doing more of these in upcoming days and weeks. This is something we're trying. We usually talk a lot of hockey. We are, big hockey fans here, but we are branching out to some other things too, just to have fun. The podcast is a place where we come to talk and hang out. We usually have Ponch on here too, but it's just Berto and I today. I don't know if he watches The Boys or not, but
I'm not sure.
But we're gonna talk about the next episodes of Stranger Things as well. So part 1 and part 2 soon. So that will be another thing that we're gonna talk about. I don't know if you watch Stranger Things, but we'd be happy to have you as well. So let us know. But that's going to do it for today's episode. We appreciate everyone who's able to stop by. If you're listening after the fact, feel free to drop a follow, a like, a subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions you want us to address. We'll definitely get to them as soon as possible. Drop a rating if you're listening on Spotify. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and YouTube, all as The Fan Connection. You can find Berta on Twitch as Bertaman, BERDAMAN, and you can find me on Twitch, SomeLazyGuy09, and Ponch, where it's Ponch_YYC. So we'll see you all in the next one. We appreciate your support, as always. And yeah, see you all soon.